You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. These are the leading top stories. First up, Women's Day is celebrated well by the women of Klerksdorp, and radio presenter and Crown Gospel Award founder Zanele Mbokazi has died. In the business news, YouTube CEO also succumbs to cancer, and in the sports news, Pirates and Sundowns avoid each other for the semis. We begin here while we are still celebrating Women's Month. Northwest Queens took commemorated this day with breaking the stigmas that causes women in society oppressed in marriages. This year the theme was "The Queen is a Goddess." Now Nana Konote and friends had panel of discussions where they were talking with women about challenges that they face in marriages. Could it be infertility, abusive marriages, and children trauma? Let's take a look.
Hello, hi. My name is Nono. Today, Rio, we are celebrating the queenship of every woman in Matosana. Today, we are here gathered. Kamona Kahare is quite a lot of ladies. We are saying through the trials and tribulations that we go through, as Batubabomme, we should always remember that we are the gatekeepers of our family. Everything starts and ends with us. If we can pray, everything, we can sort out a lot of issues because we've got the power, we've got that feminine power. If we can channel it into the right phases of our life or the spaces of our lives, everything will go well. We are here, this initiative, every year, we are going to gather. We are trying to unlearn the intergenerational trauma, whereby the so now we are this generation, everything, it stops with us. It will not go to our kids and our grandkids. We are the ones so that we can build the next generation. And I trust and hope that next year, August, we will see a lot of ladies. And remember, ladies, never forget to be kind to yourself. You've got this. You're a queen, you are worthy, and you deserve to be celebrated.
The question there were topics still needed work on infertility. Can you please maybe elaborate more about that?
This is one of the topics when I was told. But anyway, it's a very sad topic whereby it's unfortunate that how musadi a kena lenyalong, it is expected hore wena o le mosadi ko wena o tlo tswala ngwana. If we can learn hore ngwana o etswa ke batho ba babedi, and hangata o fumane hore mme hana bothata, like the lady who was talking, oh, and yes, she had an issue, she couldn't give birth to kids, but wa bobedi bothata ene le ntate sena pelei. But because this thing ke shame e kholo haholo batho ba bontate hore motho a ntate hana peu, it is always pinned on women. So it's high time as women re tsebe hore a child does not define your marriage. And how bona ekare how khone ho tswala, how khone ho ba le bana, bobedi ba lona in the house, tsamayang, seek medical treatment, seek guidance le bonena le ka thusana jang. There are other things that you can do, the IVF, surrogacy, jolo, where you can actually have ngwana lona le babedi. Oh. Yo. Ostulane GBV kintweteng e bohloko ibile when you are in how le kantle, when you are outside the actual home ya motho e leng hore wa shapua o etswa ntse kaofela, it's easy for you to say it's amaya. It takes courage and it takes a lot from a woman ashapuang horatamaya. Why? Because especially hana lebana, we hold on to our marriages with the hope ya hore lenyalo laka will work, things will work out for the sake of my kids. And we are failing to realize hore whatever that this husband is doing to me, it is damaging the kids. That is why hona le ntho e bitswang childhood trauma. Ba bangata ba bona e qadile hantse ba le banyane, looking at what their parents are doing to their mom, their dads particularly. But GBV can be both ways. Le bon tate ba hona jwale ba shapu, le bona ska ra e lebala, but today we are speaking about women. Bana ba starta bana le resentment towards motho wa ntate, ba starta bana le a different view mo mothong wa ntate. But I will say, standing here, how bona hore situation ya how is becoming worse. Wa shapua and ha ho loke. Please walk away. It's difficult, I know, but get the strength gore o phuthe se leng sa hao o tsamaye.
Lastly, go ahead, batho ba bomme jwang jwalo ka ha e le kgwedi ya rona ya basadi ena?
Batho ba bomme, we have got the power to tell a mountain to move gore e tla be e move. So let's use our power effectively. Let's love one another. Let's appreciate one another. And maybe don't go a day without telling someone, a fellow lady, to say, babes, you're beautiful. I love you. And let's have each other's backs as women. We can do it. This world can be a better place.
Also, amongst those discussions, women were taught that they need to choose themselves and find their identity. Here's more.
Dumelang ko gae lebitso ke Sipati Ngwejane ke ngwana na Klerksdorp. I'm a mother of 4 and a wife to a very handsome husband. Anyway, today Rio celebrating Women's Day. We decided to do an event called A Queen is a Goddess. The topics that we were discussing today were real life topics. We decided we are going to tackle on real life stories. The panelists that we had today, ke batho ba ileng gore ba fitile mo storying seo. We didn't want to have an event where we invite a celebrity. Not that there's anything wrong with a celebrity, but the reason behind inviting motho o eleng gore it's somebody o eleng gore you don't have to make time gore after the event o ka bua le ene, share the story sa gago le ene. And we wanted to have a personal interaction with our audience. So the topic tse re nnileng le tsone tse dingwe ke tsa living with HIV and dealing with your sexuality. The reason why we chose that topic is because we believe that people needed to have more information on how did LGBTQ come about, how to deal with a child as a mother or a father, how do you deal with a child under LGBTQ, how to help them process and end up in a process where they are comfortable enough to go out there. We have a topic of woman to woman hate. All we do is bash each other. We are sabotaging each other. We are always at war with each other. The reason why we had this topic is because we wanted to address how we can actually live together, we can actually coexist, help each other, and repeal and thank you. From this whole event, I've learned that when it's the same thing, we realized this while we were planning the event. Can build South Africa and the world if we use it correctly. Her and I coming together and bringing a lot of women together and with the mission and vision, it showed that when we are together as women, we can do a lot. So let's try and build a beautiful South Africa. Let's remember of the next generation from now on. Thank you so much. We actually were supposed to go to Mangoeng. We were supposed to go to Rustenburg, so we postponed Mangoeng and Rustenburg due to low ticket sales. But we are going to welcome on the 24th of August to tap into Free State. But basically, we are hoping that next year will be bigger and better, and we'll be able to reach and receive sponsors so that at least, because our aim is to have people together. So if at least the Renaldi sponsor will just invite people to come without them having to buy tickets. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, Kalibito Kenna Kagiso, Alice Ditlakanyani from Klerksdorp in the Northwest. I'm a transgender identifying person. What is transgender? Transgender is people who identify with a gender different from the one they were given at birth. I identify as a trans woman. My pronouns are she and her. Yes.
So, ke batla o njwetse di-challenges tse le kopanang le tsona in our society about this sexuality.
As a transgender person, re na le challenges tse di ngata. Re na le challenges tse di ngata. One being the inability of getting treatment in the Northwest, in the country at large. But we've got few provinces, maybe 3 to 4, that provide such treatments. Treatment e ke buang ka yone ke bua ka HRT, which is a hormones replacement therapy that one goes through, be it that you are a trans woman or a trans man. Yes.
So, ha re bue ka taba ya di-culture and religion tse nang le dipuo tsa hore batho bana ha se batho ba tlameha hore ba be teng setjhabeng sa rona. Wena o ka e beha ka tsela efe?
There's culture, there's religion, and they are affected le rona because I think it's a matter of us as trans people or us as the LGBTI to teach bagolo ba rona because back then these things still existed but it was just hidden. So now we've got the ban was lifted from South Africa in 1996. The discrimination against LGBTI was lifted in South Africa in 1996, and a lot of people don't know that. So just after our first democratic elections, 2 years later, liftiwa ban re leboga the likes of Simon Nkodi, the first person who etsa Johannesburg Gay Pride. Yes.
So, ha re bue ka taba ya ho itsebisa, like you were saying, ha o fihla bo di-event-eng ekare mathata ke batho ba lefebe, especially the transgender people, ke bona mathata ka ho se itsebise ho batho, and then the next thing ho ba le the chaos between.
Yes. I would love to teach and I would love to recommend that each and every transgender identifying person, you smart, you whatever, but please, for the sake le hate crime, there's a lot of hate crime happening, but bongata ba hate crime ena etsuwa ke hore people do not speak. People choose who didimala because oh my kilo ke obuti a motle, and then hey obuti oh hanka bua ke tlo mo loser, but you are not aware that you are now saying I am willing to lose my life, which is the main issue here. Speak up. If you don't have a boyfriend, how ona le motho or married, le teng ho qomiwa ke qomiwa everywhere o ka makiwa, but please speak up. Bua hore nna ke motho a so, I like this and ke so that that person can tell you, excuse me, I thought you are.
How do you feel like being in this kind of event, let's say
I am
you as recognizing yourself as
I am very grateful. I am happy for the recognition, and I am grateful because ha se hangata mo ka fihlelang hore as transgender o ka memiwa to a women's event. So also the nicest thing was I came to educate. Yes. I came to educate and I'm grateful for the event and I'm enjoying it. Kalebo. Yes. To every woman out there, you are special, you are worth it, you deserve it all. Be it whatever that you go through, know that you are special, you are worth it, and you deserve it. Emma, come out to how we tunnel. It's all about you. It's all about you. Because if you are not fine, how are you going to take care of your husband? How are you going to take care of your siblings, your parents, your children? You can't. So believe it. Know that you are worth it. Value yourself as a woman. That's my message to every fellow South African woman and international.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In other news, Ukhozi FM presenter and founder of the Crown Gospel Award, Zanele Mbokazi Nkambule, has died. Now, her husband, Bishop Mpendulo Nkambule, announced her death in a statement issued on Monday morning. She died in the early hours of this morning at the Parklands Hospital in Durban. Earlier this year, it was revealed that Mbokazi Nkambule had lung cancer. After the news of a diagnosis was made public, Mbokazi Nkambule described it as the toughest moment of her life. In more news, World Elephant Day is celebrated annually on the 12th of August and aims to raise awareness about the urgent plight of elephants and to promote their conservation. Since its inception in 2012, this day was focused on both Asian and African elephants, highlighting critical issues such as poaching, habitat loss, and human-elephant conflict. Now, humans are poached for their ivory tusks, which are highly valued, and illegal wildlife trade. Now, this has resulted in significant decline in elephant populations, particularly in Africa. Eco-training has put in effort to bring awareness on the magnificent creatures. Let's take a look. In continental news, Rwandan President Paul Kagame has been sworn in for a fourth term after sweeping to victory in an election last month with more than 99% of the vote. Several dozens heads of state and other dignitaries from the African nations attended the inauguration ceremony on Sunday at a packed 45,000-seat stadium in Kigali, where crowds had started gathering from the early hours of the morning. Kagame took an oath before Chief Justice Faustin Nhliziyo, pledging to preserve peace and national sovereignty, consolidate national unity. Meanwhile, rights activists said that 66-year-old's overwhelming victory was a stark reminder of the lack of democracy in Rwanda. And with that, let's now take a look at the business news. In the business news, Susan Wojcicki, which is YouTube's CEO and one of the first Google employees, died on Saturday at the age of 56 after 2 years of living with cancer. Now, Wojcicki joined Google in 1999 to become one of the first few employees of the web search leader years before it acquired YouTube. Now, Google bought YouTube in 2006 for $1.65 billion before becoming CEO of YouTube. In 2014, Wojcicki was Senior Vice President for Ad Products at Google. And that's all from the business news. Up next, we get the latest in the sports. In soccer news, Gauteng Giants, Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates avoided each other in the MTN 8 semi-final after they were drawn against Stellenbosch and Cape Town FC respectively. Now, Sundowns will host Stellenbosch in the first leg of the first semi-final, while Pirates will be away to Cape Town City in the first leg of the second semi-final. Now, the two semi-finals will each be played over 2 legs, home and away, while the venues and the dates for all 4 matches are yet to be confirmed by the PSL. In yesterday's game, 10-man Sundowns needed an extra time own goal from Thabang Molatudi to help them progress to the semi-final. Coach Manqoba Mqiti, who was taking charge of his first match as Sundowns head coach, had this to say in his post-match presentation.
But unfortunately, when you don't take those chances, you hit the upright twice. I think Peter's header was just short of a direction, but everything else was good. And when you don't score, then you start to panic, you start to develop an element of anxiety. Our second half, we kept pushing again. Unfortunately, even there are some moments we could have capitalized on. I think Mshishi could have scored. I think Masego could have done something. There are many moments that we created, but not as clear as the first half ones. I think in the extra time we made our life very difficult. But thanks to Dennis for taking one for the team, because I think had he not made that save or that foul, we could be talking a different story now. But I think after the red card, we recollected ourselves. Structurally, we gained control of the game, and fortunately, we managed to get a goal from them. But overall, if there's any element of unhappiness, it would be on the number of chances that we missed, because most of the questions would not be asked if the chances were buried.
Moving on to Olympic news now, Team South Africa delivered 6 medals at the Paris Olympics, achieving double the medal haul secured by SA squad at the previous Olympics in Tokyo. Joanne van Dijk closed off South Africa's track and field campaign at the Stade de France in Paris on Saturday evening, with a touch of silver. Now, Van Dijk was ranked 11th in the world this year, but by the time the final had ended, she had clinched the silver medal after throwing 63.93 meters. Alan Heathley was equally impressive in the men's mountain bike cross country, digging deep to claim bronze after the hard-fought contest. Now, the breaststroke queen Tatiana Smith won both gold and silver on South Africa's 2024 Olympic Games Roll of Honor. And that's where we're going to have to leave it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. The team will be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.